Hey everyone, how are you? This is Elyse-Anne, the host and founder of this thriving, amazing Facebook group, The Spiritual Entrepreneurs, where I'm hosting more than 19,000 members from all around the world. I'm super excited. So today I want to talk about the energy forecast and the messages from the universe because lately I have been guided and almost obsessed with connecting with the universe. I love connecting with the divine. I love connecting with the angels and the archangels and the guides. That's how I got started. But however, I believe I'm ready to take one step further, which is to really translate the energies from the universe. So this is another level. So the messages from the angels are really succinct to our personal development, and you should continue to have this relationship with your angels, with God. I'm not saying that you disregard it. However, because we live in this society, we live in this multi-universe that, as above, so below, you have to also learn how to translate the energies so that you can use it to your benefit. Okay, so recently last week, during a meditation, in fact, actually 2 weeks ago, for some very odd reason, I got connected to the moon. And I got connected to the moon's energy, and the beings over there were just telling me how stupid human beings are. We just don't get it. Human beings, this human race, is one of the race where we are not as developed as the aliens or the ETs, so to speak, the extraterrestrial beings. However, in this time right now, Earth is going through a very, very volatile and a very unique situation where it's growing itself. So must we. We have to grow as well. So before I go on to the statement, I want to just briefly talk about what has been going on for the past few months, and I just want to keep you updated in case you have missed that out. So for me, I am very connected with the divine, whether I was spiritual or not. I always have this inner calling. I always followed my inner guide. I always followed my feelings, even though at that time it seemed like it was wrong. You know, at that time when I was 15 or so, I got involved with drugs. But at that time, I didn't know whether it was right or wrong. It didn't cross my mind that it was wrong. It was really out of curiosity. It really was. Out of curiosity, I just want to figure out who I am. And for me, you have to be self aware. I am a person that I can't sit still. I am a person where um, I hate boredom. Boredom kills me. So you may see me, if you've observing me over the past years, if you've been following me over the past years, you see that I'm always in different projects because boredom really kills me. And as an artist, I think I have the artist character. You know, when my creativity is being blocked down and I'm doing the same routine stuff, it just kills me. It just drives me nuts. However, some people need routine, and that's perfectly fine. So you have to know what you are made up of. So I'm perfectly fine if I start from scratch again. If this project inspires me, I will do it and I will give that up. And I'm just that kind of person. So I always follow my heart. I always follow like the experience. I'm always after the experience. Of course, now that I'm spiritual, and spiritual is just a term, and just drop the word spiritual, just drop everything. You need to find out who you are. And so in this specific episode is really about women. I'm sorry, men. Judge me, be pissed off at me. I don't really care. At this point, at my age right now, I don't really care what people think of me. But I have a special place in my heart for women because I'm a woman. So sorry, guys. Sorry, dudes. This is not the episode for you. But you can learn from me, from the other women, how to understand women even better. So here's the thing, right? You have to be really, really self-aware of what you are, who you are, what you can do, what you cannot do, and specifically what are your strengths and your weaknesses. So I have been, figuring myself out since I don't know, 15, and I just knew like I was going to be a stewardess. There was this voice that called me, and I knew I was going to get it. I just followed that voice, and I just knew it was time to quit and have a child, and then it was time to find another job as a stewardess, and it was time for me to stop because it was just bitching and all that kind of thing. And I was just, this is this other voice that just led me to this spiritual journey, and then there was this other voice that led me to, hey, go learn crystals, hey, go learn coaching, hey, go do this. So it has always been like this for me. I probably don't give it as much credit as I should and need to. And my relationship with God was always touchy. I grew up in a Catholic environment, and I was, like a religious whore. I was figuring out, maybe I was this and I was that. It was just figuring out space. And it's fine. It's really okay. There's no judgment around it. And you would know why in your later years. And today I stand before you really confident. And I really don't give a shit about what other people think, because it's my life and it's my responsibility. And that's the fault, the downfall fall for so many women, because they consider so many other things, but they sacrifice their happiness. At the end of the day, if you're old and wrinkly and you're sad, you have no one else to blame but yourself, because you decided to sacrifice. So whatever your age is right now, choose happiness for yourself. Choose happiness for yourself. And this statement came across my newsfeed, and I love it. A wise woman once said, fuck that shit. And she lived happily ever after. So, and I absolutely love this statement, because who doesn't want to live happily ever after? We all grew up in the Disney era where, yeah, I'm gonna get a prince and live happily after and have a few kids, and that's it. What I really love about this statement is that fuck that shit has got nothing to do with a man. Your happiness has got nothing to do with a man. I love this statement, and I absolutely adore it. So your happiness does not come from a man and through a man. Your happiness is from within yourself, okay? So to cut the long story short, so this year has been really an amazing year for me, regardless of whatever the situation is. And I've been guided once again to start, like refocusing my time and my whatever that I want to do since July. You have 2 more months to figure out yourself, because year 9, the year of 2016, the year of completion, is coming to an end. Whether you like it or not, as sure as the sun will rise and sure as the sun will set, a new energy cycle will begin. So if you don't decide to tie up loose ends and tighten who you are going to be left behind, and the energies are going to continue pulling forward, and you would continuously looking left and right and seeing other people succeed, and you don't even know what the hell is going on. So this episode is specifically for women. So in July, I was guided to drop business coaching, and of course there's this void, oh my god, then what the hell am I supposed to do right now, because that has been my identity and my source of income for a long time, couple of years. And so I knew, and I know better now, that I always follow this voice. It is irrational and I don't know it. And you know what? To be honest, until today, I haven't completely figured it out yet, and that's okay. I know for sure that I'm a child of God, and I am doing my best to figure this thing out called life. It doesn't matter what my tagline is and who am I supposed to help. Seriously, it's none of my business, and I don't care at this point of time, because the world does not need me to save it. My job is to figure myself out. My job is to be a happy person. My job is to, know who I am. That's my job first, and then everything else will fall in place. Seriously, it's not about saving someone else. So drop this motion that I need to save someone else, because if you do have the intention, who you need to save is yourself. Seriously. I've lived to this age, and I've gone through a lot of shit in my life. I've seen a lot. Yes, at a very young age, because I've been out there for since very young. And right now I tell you, it's your kids are, it's not your source of happiness. Your husband is not your source of happiness. Your job is not your source of happiness. You have to figure that out. And from that space, when you are completely happy with your life, then you can start to give that blessing out. You can be completely happy with someone else. You can be completely focused in your projects. You can be focused completely with the things that you do. And you can be completely giving your life through your life purpose. You know, otherwise, you will have this void. You are giving 80%, and this 20% is all about you. So I'm not saying, I mean, we all have the ego. We all have this ego thing. We have to know when the ego voice sets in and when it's not. So time slowed down for us in October, and time is going to accelerate again. See, now it's the 7th, and time is going to go by just like this in November. And the last 2 months is really for you to make a decision so that you can start a new cycle, an energy cycle next year. It is very crucial because Mother Earth is going through evolution, and as you can see as well. And so, the beings in the moon reminded me the reason why you have so much shit going on in your world right now is because that's a reflection of so many of us. So many of us are unhappy with our lives. And so that's a reflection of how we feel. And therefore, there is a sense of urgency for you to stop trying to save the world, but be happy for yourself and let that radiate out. You know, struggling for money and working for money is a habit. It's literally a habit. I promised myself, you know what? I'm going to drop this, like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. I'm just going to drop it and enjoy life because at this age right now, I think God has just knocked me on my head and reminded me what life is really all about. I do not want to continuously struggle and have this lack of money conversation continuously into my 40s, into my 50s, and God forbid, into my 80s. Enough is enough. You have everything you need. And I'm done with like, oh, you need systems and structures, this and that. It's yes, you need a certain foundation for your business. You need a certain emotional foundation in your life in order for success or whatever you want to attract to be in your life, because that's your core foundation. So right now, work on your core. If you have a lack relationship with money, go freaking work on it. Because having a great career, having a great strategy will not change that core. That is your point of attraction. That really is. So over the last week, there's these two big ginormous stars that collided with one another. And this happens a lot in the universe, in the solar system, in the Milky Way. Galaxies will clash and they will form. And so these two ginormous stars just collided with one another and caused a massive vibration in the universe. How do I know? I tapped into it. I saw it in my meditation. And so many of us felt the vibration. We are feeling out of sorts and we're like, oh my God, this is not what I want to do, which is good news. As above, so below, we feel the vibration. So a lot of us are suddenly feeling lost right now in our world because the universe is rearranging itself to find that space that fits for them. We all have a space. And you are feeling uncomfortable because you are also finding your space. Not every space is for you. We all have a space. You are finding out that space and find it, claim it, and own it. So right now, it is the time for you. There's a lot of work for you to be done. First of all, you got to let go of the past that does not serve you. Remember what you have started in 2008, and that will continue. And what you have not done, you have promised yourself in the 9-year cycle, what you have done and not done. And it's really time to really reassess your life because another 10 years is coming and another 10 years. And collect your energy and collect your thoughts and make the rest of your 10 years a successful one. I don't regret my life. I really don't, because it is my past experience has made me who I am today. I'm strong. I'm a go-getter in the sense that I'm no longer competing with other people. There was once upon a time I was competing with other people. I felt that I wasn't good enough, that I'm from Singapore and I needed to be in the States and blah, 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 blah. So right now, I'm telling you, woman to woman, there's no need to compete. Just find that space, own it, and claim it. So going back to my title, I really have a thing. Buddha said, paraphrase, use your own common sense. If it does not resonate with you, reject it, even though if it comes from me. Buddha said it. And Buddha also said this other thing: pain is um, inevitable, suffering is optional. And let me tell you something, that death is unavoidable. You will die. You will die one day. And let me ask you a question before I continue with my this Dalai Lama thing. If the dinosaurs weren't a sure thing, what makes you think you are a sure thing? Can you touch your heart and assure me and guarantee me that the sun would rise tomorrow? Can you? Can you assure me? Can you guarantee me that the sun will set today? Can you guarantee me that the sun will rise tomorrow? So time and life is something that so many of us are taking it for granted. Your life on earth is very, very precious. So stop giving it away. I want to help people. I want to do this. You help yourself first because you matter. Okay. So going back to this Dalai Lama, or I used to have this coach, and she is of course an American, and I was obsessed with the American woman for a long time, the Western woman for a long time, and I just denied my roots, and I just thought that yeah, the Western women are gonna save the world, and because Dalai Lama said it, and I disagree. I strongly disagree. I fucking disagree with that statement. I don't care who he is, but I have my own opinion, and I disagree because I'm Chinese. I'm from Singapore, and I'm Chinese, and I'm not Western, even though I have blonde hair right now. But deep down in me, I am Chinese. So, yes, we come from God through people. However, when we come from God, we have our stories, we have our DNAs, we have our ancestral karma, we have our all these roots. And the women before us, I don't care what Italian or whatever you are, whatever ethnic background you are, there are tens and tens of thousands of your kind, of your ethnic cultural background that came through and before you so that you can be here today. So are we going to disregard that as well? Well, I am not being racist. Now listen to me first. I'm asking you to honor your roots because I dishonored my roots and I was figuring myself out. But today, I have been, observing a lot of those Chinese women, how they are successful. They never studied the law of attraction. Maybe they did, but all the experiences has taught them well. And I'm learning from them. And it changed my mind as well. The Americans are good for certain things, the Chinese are good for certain things. And for me, I tell you, I am living in the best of both worlds. Even Wayne Dyer wrote a book on Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, and that is like a 5,000-year-old, I don't know how old it is. So it does make sense. I am living in the best of both worlds. Let me tell you this. I am both Western educated and I have the Chinese philosophy and culture in me as well. So why shouldn't I tap into that? Why shouldn't I be proud of who I am? Because when I denied who I am, when I denied my roots as a Chinese and all my forefathers that has come through and from China to give me this beautiful life here, and here I am dishonoring my roots and just giving my power out there. And yes, Oprah is great, yes, this is great. I am saying that I discount my own Chinese roots. I invite you to go and search for your own cultural women and learn from them. They have gone through great ordeals. Like Diane von Furstenberg, right? Her mother has been in the Nazi camp, and that made her who she is today. I respect that. I respect that. Just because my Chinese women, my forefathers did not go through a Nazi camp, but they have gone through similar, the Chinese Revolution, the Japanese War here. They have gone through big ordeals and they have big lessons for me to learn as well. So as a smart woman, learn from them. They have great lessons to teach. So, I strongly disagree with this Western culture, with this, the world will be saved by Western women. I strongly disagree because I cannot relate to it. Western educated, my friend told me, what he actually meant is Western educated. Well, the East and the West has that both good and bad. And right now, as a woman who has their own intellectual, as a smart woman, you should dissect and distill the good and the bad and apply it in your current life. Because a lot of times history is passe, but still distill the lesson. The lessons are precious, not necessarily the journey, but the lessons that they had gone through. What they have gone through will save you a lot of time in your own journey. All right. So I just strongly disagree. You know who I don't think that the world will be saved solely and only by the Western women. And being spiritual, I mean, let me invite you to think about this. Drop the gender, because when I thought about this, to be honest, not trying to be a spiritual hypocrite, but my ego stepped in. Like, what do you mean the Western woman? But we Chinese women are as good as this. We Chinese women are this and that. And I'm like, hang on, wait a minute. This is ego talk. This is, I'm better than you. You are not as good as me. And that leads to a veil of separation. And we all know when we have this ego talk that comes in, we are separated from God. Ego is edging God out. So by all these like Western women, Chinese women, American women, Italian women, this and that, blah, 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 is separating us from us just being termed as one human race. I'm not saying I don't judge. I do. If some man who dares to cut my queue and cut my line, I will have no qualms to, give him my inner roll eye and give him that bitchy look and standing. I'm like, excuse me, you just cut my line. I will have no qualms to tell him off, even though we are all part of one. That is my boundary. Right? I would have no qualms looking at this person. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, that's just us. However, that's my opinion and that's my judgment, and that's the other person that's got nothing to do with me. At that moment, at the split moment, I will still have those thoughts. However, that being said, if you understand that we are just one big human race, then drop the gender, drop the women, drop the Western, drop the men. As one human race, we all have a responsibility to take care of this Mother Earth. Like I said, if dinosaurs weren't a sure thing, and remember in the Bible, Noah's Ark, God just wiped everything out. Same thing with the Atlanteans, same thing with the Lemurians. So what makes you so sure that our human race right now is a sure thing? God did it once, he did it twice, he will do it again. So we are hanging on a thin thread right now. Let me tell you this. So, if you want to launch something because you want to make money and help someone, ask yourself first. Serve yourself first. Make your life, be happy with your life first. If you're not, then you're lying to yourself. And whatever that you give out to the world is not 120%. Okay? That's just it. Right? So work on yourself first. Really work on yourself first. And I can assure you, once you work on yourself, time will catch up for you. Time will catch up for you. This is not the easiest time in my life right now because there's a lot of decisions that I need to make. There's a lot of, just changes because I'm getting older and a new year, that's new cycle. And I really need to reevaluate how do I want to spend the rest of my life. And yes, you need to cut some cords, you need to change some stuff. And that's normal. And that's just part of growing up. So in my own opinion, in my own humble opinion, that the people who will change the world are happy and loving. Does that make sense? Remember what I said about the beings in the moon? They told me that the reason why Earth is going through this crazy shit going on, war and this freak election, is a reflection of our internal world. So the world will not be saved by Western women. The world will be saved by happy, loving people. Period. Yeah, I have the roosters around my house. You know what I mean? So even the rooster is agreeing with me. So when you are one with human race, when you are one connected to the rooster, when you are one just connected with everyone else, naturally you will be compassionate. Naturally you will start taking responsibility for your actions on a daily basis. Support products that does not support animal testing, be responsible for your water, like how you scrub your face, make sure that the scrubs are dissolvable so that it doesn't go back to the ocean. All these little tiny things, little tiny actions, individual action will add up to change our planet, would change humanity. And trust me, when you are so solidly and your foundation is strong, there will be a piece of heaven on earth. Right now, it's like, oh, this, the gurus always say, oh, you need to have a tagline, you need to niche yourself. But to be honest, I can't. I really can't at this point in time, because I am still figuring out this person called Elyse-anne. I am still figuring out who I want to be, what I want to do, what makes me happy, what lights me up, what I'm made of. And one thing I know for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, I have decided to drop my money story. I have decided to just allow life to support me. Why should I struggle? Why should I just make things so hard for myself and continuous worry about money, about clients? Because I know that when I need the money would show up. And it is showing up for me in ways that I never imagined. And so there is a divine timing for all of us. If you continuously worry about whatever, say money, that's the energy you're going to focus on, and you are going to get more of it. Okay, so as I talked about the big collision, and now it's colliding, and the debris are all over the place. And right now, the situation is peace and calm. It's a void. There's no description. There's no destruction. Neither there is creation. So what that translates to your life right now is there is a void. Like, it's an uncomfortable void. If you are a control freak like me, it is uncomfortable. The past 5 months was absolutely torturous for me, because I always need to know, and I need to plan. I need to know before I jump, and therefore I'm a control freak. So it's like when God told me to surrender, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really outside my comfort zone, and I just hated every moment of it. And right now I can tell you, I absolutely love this space of not knowing. I absolutely love this space of this void where there is absolutely nothing. It's emptiness, which means I can create anything I want in this space. And it's peace. And so if you are used to, like, oh my God, I need to do this and that, you would find it really uncomfortable right now. But that's what it is, to allow support in, and you co-creating with the universe, with God, and giving out instructions of what you want to create. So without this void, you will not have mental space and time to actually really think for yourself and by yourself. If you don't think for yourself, no one is going to think for you. So use this last 2 months, 1 month and 3 weeks, in fact, to really, what's that word for this? Readjust, recenter, and really find out who you are. Because if you are meant to serve the world and play a bigger game, that will not happen until you find your own inner compass and your own inner happiness within yourself. Because you cannot give what you don't have. And this is really true. The rooster just agreed with me. You simply cannot, even though you have a heart to serve, but there will always be this thing blocking you from achieving the success and the results that you want. So, at this time, just investigate your plan, investigate different things, but don't make a move. Don't make a move for sure, for sure, for sure. Because you need to figure out who you are first. And let me assure you, there is a divine timing for everything. If you go against the divine timing, you are screwing yourself up for no rhyme or reason. Because the truth is, there are seasons in life, right? There are seasons in life. There is winter time, and the animals know that. Human beings are the smartest species on the planet, but yet they behave like idiots. The animals know that. The animals go ebb and flow with the nature. During winter, what's the before winter? Autumn, they stuff themselves up. They kind of like put they put on they prepare themselves for winter and to hibernate. And during hibernation, they would rest and sleep. And there's this frog, right? That's really interesting. Big, and in in the animal kingdom, the animals just evolve. They evolve with the environment. So must we. We are idiots, I'm telling you. We just don't evolve. We just don't get it, right? There's this frog that has gone through so much evolution because during winter time it's so freaking cold, right? It's so cold, and it just froze, right? And it will die. But this frog has over time evolved. So during winter, it would freeze, its heartbeat would stop as well. Can you believe it? The heart stops. And in life, we all know this. This is physics and biology. We don't need a rocket scientist to know this, right? Like if your heart stops, what happens? We die. But this frog is so intelligent and it has adapted itself with the environment. So during wintertime, the heart stops because it requires energy. It stops, and when spring comes, it would start to melt. Its eyes would open, and the heart would continue to beat, and it's alive again. So the animals know that. The animals know when to migrate. They know. They just know because they tap into the earth. They are connected with Mother Earth. There's this saying now that there is this underground web, and all the trees are connected, right? So we must evolve as well, and there is a time. If you try to live like summertime in winter, you are going to kill yourself. If you live like wintertime in summertime, you are a cuckoo bird, right? It's not. And life is as is. There is time for you to work, and there's a time for you to rest, and recenter yourself, and to learn, and to observe, and to rest. There's just a time and space for everything. You must observe your own cycle. You have a winter, summer, autumn, and what? Winter, summer, autumn, and fall, right? You have all the seasons in your life. Look at our menstrual cycle. We all have seasons, right? I mean, try talking to a woman when she's having a PMS. You are digging your own grave. I mean, she can't even explain why, but that is just the way her emotions are. So we all have a cycle. We all have a divine timing. We all have a clock, right? I mean, when we go through menopause at, I don't know, 60, there is absolutely no natural way that we will get pregnant again, right? Of course, there are artificial insemination or whatever that is. But this is just the natural cycle, and we must honor and respect it. And it's just so happened that this time is a time for you to rest and not make any big decisions, right? Big decisions as in like, work decisions. I want to change job and whatever it is. You need to find that answer within yourself first. And this is the time to rest, to learn, to discover about yourself, and to plan. I'm not a big fan of big plans. I'm not, because plans do change and I grow on a day-to-day basis. I roughly know what I want to achieve. I roughly know what I want to end up. I roughly know what I want to experience. But in between all the little nitty-gritty, you know, in, little nitty-gritty kind of like situations, I don't control any anymore. I just follow, and I just trust that I'm just guided on a day-to-day basis that I will end up in my destination. That's all. I no longer worry about, oh my god, this client drops out, that client, because I've done it. It's I've done it, and it was a very bad situation, but now I know better. I will not allow it to happen again. So as a woman, you need to honor your seasons. And the only reason why women fail so miserably out there in the world is because they pretend or they try to play like men. The thing with women, and I have been through all these seasons, is like I'm a needy woman. I'm like, okay, everything you say, I'm fine. And I've been this gung ho woman. I thought I was a man. I needed to pretend to be a man. And right now, I just remembered that I'm a woman. I just remembered that I have forgotten about my feminine energy. I have forgotten that I don't have to be a man because I am not a man. So, as a woman, experiment, feel the feminine energy, allow the support. Allow divine intervention. Allow the people to love you. Allow the people to support you. We don't have to do this all by ourselves. We are, elegant ladies. We are strong. We have our own mind. But that does not mean that we have to do everything ourselves and break our nails and be like, oh God, I don't know. I mean, we don't have to be like Cinderella to, to find our prince like that. Remember that you are a woman. Play around with that energy. Feel sexy again. Be comfortable in your body. For a long time, I have rejected my body. I have rejected who I am. I've rejected my own skin. I have just hated myself for a long time. But for the first time in 36 years, I am absolutely comfortable in my own body. I am absolutely comfortable being a Singaporean Chinese. I am absolutely comfortable being a woman. And I do not desire to play like a man. And for those of you who are looking up to men and you're wondering why you're not getting the results, or even if you are, you're not happy, because you're just playing the wrong game. It's a wrong energy. Everything has to be energetically fit. You are not built like a man. So all the man's conversation, the locker talk room, and all the whatever, it's not suitable for you. So even if you become successful through the manly way, you would drive yourself crazy. And I see this when I was a love coach. Successful women unable to find love because in work they are like, so like, like I'm doing this and that, and then they just forget that they are women. They forget to open themselves up. So do whatever it takes to remind you that you are a woman. And being a woman, does not mean that I'm a needy and I'm a desperate. Oh my God, I need to have my life completely revolving around the man. No, it's not it. So be careful when you read an article or learn from the men, because they don't understand women. They really don't. They are not wired like women. For them, they can work 25 hours nonstop and, you know, and have a beer and then that's it. For women, we are not like this. We are not. We need to have our girlfriend time. We need to talk about it. We need to emote about it. We need to cry about it. We need to, so don't operate like men, because you are not. And if you are not finding success because you are in the men's industry, then consider finding your own sweet spot as a woman. So therefore, I don't teach my clients and students to follow my way, because my way is tailor-made to suit my life. I hold that space for my clients and students to discover their own way, how you want to live. And that's the best way. I don't have a system or a structure for you to follow, because, like I said, I go with the flow. I wake up each day and I just feel into what I need to do today, what lights me up, and I freaking do it. And I know myself really well. I cannot be bored. I cannot be bored. So if you are one person that needs systems, then go figure out a system and structure for you. I simply cannot live like this. So every 3 months you see me traveling and going here and there, because I need that for my own sanity. I really need that. So right now you need to discover what lifestyle works for you and create a plan uniquely for yourself. Okay, and that is the best plan. You have seen this. I used to follow this proven system, proven structure, proven formula, but at the end, let me tell you something. The proven formula is to be yourself. The proven secret success system is to be yourself. So you must know who you are in order for you to be successful, because we are all unique, right? So alrighty, it's time for the card reading. Okay, and in case you are interested, I am going to talk about reincarnation and karma tomorrow in the school with Elyse-anne. And so if you are interested, go to elyse-anne.com/the school and talk and listen to what I have to say. And the first month is only $11, because I just wanted to make it very easy for you to decide, There's absolutely no reason. And so in that school, you can hear my children because the school holiday today, they had this concert. So this is my life, I won't ask them to keep quiet or whatever it is. What you see is what you get. So tomorrow's topic is reincarnation and karma. I absolutely love this topic. You have to understand what reincarnation and karma has to do so it will make sense in your life, and then you would just see life is really happening to you and for you. It's happening for you and responding to you, and it's not happening to you like you are a victim. Okay, so that is a very important topic for tomorrow. If you are interested, please go to elyse-anne.com/the school and join us in that session. And even with the school, I'm not even shy to tell you this. I'm always, refining it because I'm growing. I'm growing, so my business will grow. I'm growing, so my interest will grow. If you continuously grow, there will never be a lack of idea or a lack of whatever. So you just have to understand life. If not, life would just consume you. All right, so as usual, the cards would be Monday to Wednesday, that's one card. Thursday to Friday, another card. And then the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is another card. All right, so what I'm feeling is a lot of you are feeling really frustrated because you have planned for such a long time to make this move, and yet like everything suddenly it's going against you. Well, like I said earlier on, life is not going against you, but it's just the energy that is recentering itself, and it's just not the right time to do anything. So be patient. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. Okay, so learn to go with the flow. There is always a flow, and being frustrated, and even if you launch it, it will not yield you the results that you want. So investigate what the frustration is all about, the fear is all about, and some of you may not even be, it's not even frustration, it's about the fear to take one step to do certain things. So you may need more knowledge, you may need to investigate it further to, to make this move. And the results is, it may not be what you expect, but at least you are happy with that decision, and that's what it matters, and that's all that matters. You have to be happy with yourself. There's no such thing as regret. So play the whole tape through. If you're going to regret certain actions, then don't do it, because regret is not a good thing to have. So this seems to be the card for Monday, Wednesday. I actually flipped it open. I'm going to show you in a while. Okay, I will flip that. I will flip that later because I'm used to flipping the cards for myself. All right, so haven't seen the last two cards, but here it is for Monday to Wednesday. So angels of family, the angels surround both you and your family at the moment. Okay, so what they're telling me is that at this period of time, while you are searching yourself, there might be some conflict with your family members because they don't understand you. But know that it's all in the perfect plan. They would get you eventually. And know that whatever situation is, everybody is going through their own crisis. Everybody is doing their own soul searching. So it's best to just give them space and ask for space from them if you need to. But just know that your families are there for you, even though they don't understand you, because we all have different experiences, and that's okay. Yeah, just know and be assured that they're just family. They're just like that, and everything is the way it is, right? And also, no matter what, your family will always support you. This, regardless of different in opinion or the same in opinion, family's family. They will always support you and your journey. All right, so open your heart and invite them in. All right. So what's that? Wednesday, Thursday to Friday. An idea connected to imagination, creativity, and nature is coming your way. So pay attention to, again, your ideas, write them all down, um, and don't be rush about that. Just do your homework, but open your heart to surrender to what the divine has for you. When you create and tap into the realm of creativity, there is no such thing as competition, because God knows who you are and what you are made up of, and He would give you a plan that you would be the best person for it. All right. So come weekend, Saturday and Sunday, angel of self-worth. You are currently undervaluing yourself. It's time to regain your self-worth. Alrighty. So, self-worth and women, it's like it's like a topic that cannot leave one another. We women, just don't give ourselves enough credit, and we are just so hard on ourselves. When I was in my 20s, I was so obsessed with finding a man, finding love, and then, bitching about other women and, jealous of them. But now at this space, I really love women for who they are, even though they are bitchy, they are crazy, but I just love them for who they are because they're just fascinating. They are just fascinating. Nobody enjoys being a bitch. Nobody enjoys being like this. Nobody. There's always a story. And when I sit down and I understand them, because I have now the space to love them for who they are, because I love myself for who I am, and I stop, projecting my own jealousy, my own neediness onto other successful women. I really do love women. They are amazing. And, at the end of the day, women need to collaborate and come together and stop competing and stop putting each other down. Instead, lift each other up. And when I opened up my heart for support, amazing women started to come in to support me, to lift me up, to I've never felt so much love from a woman. In the past, it was just a very superficial relationship with women, because I had a superficial relationship with myself. So that's just the way it is. And how you perceive yourself is a reflection of how you perceive the world, and that's what you're going to attract. Alrighty, so this is the energy forecast for you this week. The energy forecast, once again, don't be surprised you're in this void situation where you're like in the lull, like trying to figure out, you're feeling lost. Because if you're in a good place, if you're feeling lost, I guarantee you will be found. Lost and found. So go to the lost and found counter and see what you have lost, and you would find what you have lost. So if you're in a space of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, you're absolutely in a good space, because when you are lost, you start asking deeper questions like, what am I here to do? Who am I? Right? If you are not in that space, then you're not even going to bother about those questions. Alrighty, so I would see you again next week. And if you want to learn more about reincarnation and karma, please do join the school, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, you take care. Love you so much. Take care. Bye bye.